time for the next project. Rollaway nesting boxes for the chicken coop. We just finished the solar panels, on to the next one. So first I'm going to have to tidy up the mess in the shed as usual before I can get started. So before we can get started on the job, I'm going to have to create some battens. I've only got large square battens and that would have been overkill for the project. So I'm splitting them in half to make two battens out of what would have been one piece. And given the price of wood, that's probably the right way to go. Price of wood has gone insane here in Italy. In fact, the price of everything's gone insane in Italy. It's absolutely mad. Okay, so this is the base frame that I made a couple months ago, then got sidetracked onto another project. And here are the pieces that I've cut and prepared to put together for the top frame for the roof. I'll screw those together and show it to you. So put that like that. Cut at 12 degrees so the eggs will roll away and the water will roll off the roof. One more screw. There we go, you can see the angle. It should be straight up, 12 degrees. So that's the top frame and the bottom frame screwed in, just so I can start measuring for the rest of the bits and bobs I need to cut. Got a slight overhang on the roof to protect the rollaway nesting box so the water doesn't get into the eggs when they roll away. Well, we're building a rollaway nesting box. The reason for doing it here is so when we come to collect eggs, we don't have to go all the way around into tier 1. So that's why it's here. Rollaway nest box, try and keep the eggs clean so we don't have to wash them every time we collect them. So that's the plan. I'm going to have a section over here that'll have a lid that flaps up or flaps open, I'm not sure which yet, so we can lift the eggs out, and then I'll have a flap on the door on the face here that we can flap down if we need to get in and clean, etc. And then close it up and lock it when it's not being used. And then you get the eggs out over here. I told you, you've got a flap that flaps open either this way or over this way, and you pick the eggs out. I'm sure by now most of you already figured out that my design process is not normal. I get a basic design going in my head, and then as I start building, I refine the design based on what I find as I'm building. Works for me, I quite enjoy it. It's almost like a challenge, not knowing what the project's going to turn out like when you start. It drives Mandy absolutely nuts. I think maybe that's in part why I do it. Most times the project works out fine and Mandy's actually quite happy with the end product. Most times, in fact. I can't think of anywhere she's not really been that happy. Now the next thing is to figure how high this needs to be in order for the eggs to roll. So we don't have to keep it low. I mean, we can be safe and go 10 centimeters. Make it long. That gives space for the baseboard and that fake grass that I've got. Okay. Can you? It's moved. Big enough to just get in there to swim, not really. Hey? Didn't think of that, did I? Well, it's not a change. It's a design process, really. There's no fault. This is part of the process. I mean, you see, that's the problem with you women. You're always looking for fault, someone to blame. But not too much that the eggs don't roll through. I'm going to need to go and cut a piece of wood to go here. Okay, so I've got the side pieces in. I just got to mark them with a pencil, cut them, then they can go in. Put the front piece in here next, and then do this side. Then I'm ready to put the base in and the roof on.
Action.
Okay, so the frame's bolted in place. I'll put some supports in for the floor at the bottom. I've cut some pieces of thin plywood for the base. Doesn't need to be too strong or durable or too thick. So that'll go in there. And that'll go in there. I didn't do it as one piece because of the notches. So, and I didn't have an offcut big enough anyway. So we'll screw that down. Then we can get the AstroTurf, put that in for the eggs to roll. I'll build the frame up. And then it's almost good to go. Just got to cut the hole for the door and put steps for them to get into it. Maybe they can lay in there tomorrow. Got to cut that wood and cut for the sides and for the roof. Okay, it's taking shape now, getting ready to drill and fix the roof. Before I fit the roof, I'm going to put in the artificial grass that the eggs are going to roll away on, as well as cut the door for them to get through into the nesting box from the coop. Okay, that's it for today. It's mosquito city out here now, so I'm heading inside. I have to hop the fence tomorrow, get those screws in on that side and also on the other side. Tomorrow I'll cut the astroturf to go in the bottom for the eggs to roll on, cut the door, put the roof on, put the hatches on, paint it, and that's it, done. See you tomorrow. Alright, so the next stage is to cut the hatch through for the chickens to get into the nesting box from the coop. I've drilled 4 holes in each corner, there and there. Now I'll go back there, I go into the coop and I'll cut it out from that side because I can't get the jigsaw in here to cut it out. So that's the next step. As big as I can get the jigsaw blade in.
Yeah.
Hello. Quack, quack, quack. No, that's a duck. Okay, so I've painted the base with sanding sealer, hopefully protect it. I'm getting ready to put the roof on, and then I'll be ready to put the flap on for getting into the nesting box to clean, and the flap to protect the eggs. Hopefully they can use it tomorrow morning. This is the last board for the roof. I'm just going to cut it off so we can get rid of this rebate for the groove for the tongue. Stop insects laying eggs and making nests in them. Okay, so yesterday I finished off the nesting box. Just needs painted and a couple of handles added to the flaps over here. I'll show you what I've done. I've made the egg cover flap out that way. It'll be easy when I get a handle on. And then to get into the nesting box, you can just then lift that up, and there you go. Got to put the astroturf in there, paint, put handles on and a latch, and then it's done. Alrighty, so the nesting box has had its first coat of paint. I have to take the doors off, give them a coating. I want to give it a second coat, but rain is apparently coming at 10 o'clock, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see what happens. Next job is to create the step inside the coop for them to be able to hop up and get into the nesting box. Okay, we're on the homeward stretch now. Time to cut up the astroturf. Make sure it fits in the bottom of the nesting boxes without too much hassle. A little bit of cutting to do after that for fit. Then take off the flaps so I can get them painted, and then fit the astroturf. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's done. Just needs a second coat of paint, but it's been raining today, so I'll wait for it to dry up and then I'll give it a second coat. Doors are done, painted, fitted, handles. There you go. I've got a piece of wood screwed in at the top to keep the astroturf from moving. And the eggs do roll. So success. Now we just got to make sure the chickens use it. So that's it. Another project off the list. The never-ending list. Every time I finish a project, Mandy seems to add another 2 or 3. Keeps me busy. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Learned something or not. Had a good laugh. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And remember, stay safe out there.